Hi everyone, great to be with you. And I don't know about you, but there really seems to be a change in the season now, doesn't there? You can see the autumn fruits on the trees. Certainly in my garden, the apples are there and they're falling. The recent wind shook them out of the tree. And also there's a nip in the air, and at night there's the whiff of wood smoke around where I live as people start to light their fires to keep warm. I looked at the front cover of a magazine today, and there it was in pumpkin coloured letters saying, "Ease into autumn." And many of us love doing that, don't we? Comfortably easing into favourite woolly jumpers and cuddling up indoors and going into hibernation mode. The autumn is a very important time in God's calendar. You know, God keeps to his calendar of feasts on a yearly basis, and he speaks to us through those times. And the next one to come up is the Feast of Trumpets, and that's going to be around the middle of September. And of course, everything is disrupted this year for Jews around the world celebrating that feast and in Israel with COVID-19. But prophetically, many feel that it is the unfulfilled herald with the trumpet being very significant of the return of the Lord. And many expect the Lord to return around that time. But we know that Jesus said you're to be always ready, and only the Father knows. And when the time is right, then the Lord will return for his church and for his harvest. Thinking about the autumn time, thinking about the apples on the trees, it made me think of the tree of life. Revelation 22 says, "In the middle of the street and on either side of the river was the tree of life, which bore 12 fruits, each tree yielding its fruit every month. The leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations." God's plan for us is always fruitfulness. He says that we'll be known by our fruit, and he is the one who tends us and prunes us and causes us to blossom, and then from the blossom to bring the fruit. You know, we need one another, don't we, for cross-pollination. That's why fellowship is so important, and I know that's a challenge in these days. But we need to stay in close fellowship with the Lord and with one another, with his word and in prayer. And as that cross-pollination occurs, as we communicate with one another, as we talk about the Lord, iron sharpens iron, and then the fruit comes. Jesus says some interesting things in the book of Revelation and in chapter 22 here. He says in verse 12, "And behold, I am coming quickly, and my reward is with me, to give to everyone according to his work." So he's a rewarder of those who earnestly seek him, and nothing is under his radar. The Lord sees, doesn't he? And he sees our hearts, and he knows those hearts who are for him and those who are not. But I want to encourage you with those words. You may feel like you've been giving and giving and giving and not really getting a lot back. But the Lord knows, and he is a rewarder. He says, "I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last." You know, he's the one who it starts with. He's the one who it ends with. He's completely in control, and we need to understand that. And even in the confusion of the situations we find ourselves in, just go to that I am statement. I am the beginning, I am the end, the Alpha and the Omega, the Aleph and the Taf. "I, Jesus, have sent my angel to testify to you these things in the churches. I am the root of the offspring of David, the bright and morning star." That's a wonderful statement, isn't it? And the Lord calls us to be men and women after God's own heart, just as David was, that we are in the family line. So I would encourage you to be bold and be strong, for the Lord your God is with you. And you are in the family. You are in the line of David too. You are adopted in. And Jesus is coming back soon to gather us into his loving arms. God bless you.